Aftab Kamal Pasha joins us from New Delhi. He is a professor of Middle East Studies at Jawaharlal Nehru University. So, Professor, thank you for your time. The Israeli Prime Minister says his forces have dropped leaflets to Palestinians, urging them to move further south, which potentially forces tens of thousands of people closer to Egypt. What do you think the implications are for that country?
You see, the Israelis have already dropped millions of leaflets in the north, which led to the exodus of more than 1 million people to the south, which the Israeli army had ordered them more than a fortnight ago. Now, the southern part, Khan Yunis, and close to the Rafah border, it is overcrowded with these refugees who have fled from the north. And now, if the Israeli authorities are asking the people in the south to move towards the Rafah border, it is a systematic expulsion and ethnic cleansing even from the south. People fled to the south assuming that it will be safe, but they are accusing the Hamas of firing from the southern part, and the Israelis have resorted to indiscriminate bombing in Khan Yunis and many other parts of the southern part of Gaza, which was considered safe. Now, if they are pushing them further towards the Rafah border, only one thing can be sure, and that is they don't want the Palestinians in Gaza Strip total, and they want to gradually push them into Egypt through the Rafah border, because starving them without food, water, electricity, communications, etc., will use the humanitarian angle to allow the Egyptians to push the Palestinians into Gaza, from Gaza to the Rafah border. So it is very systematically planned, as we have been hearing reports that there is tremendous pressure even from the United States on Egypt and Qatar to allow as many Palestinians as possible and build refugee camps there, shelters and hospitals, field hospitals. Even Turkey is willing to install field hospitals there. So gradually the Israeli game plan is to push these helpless Palestinians through the Rafah border into Sinai, which is a long old plan of Moshe Dayan and others to push them into Egypt and take Sinai as the Palestine away from
Professor,
Gaza.
Professor, let me just cut in here. There's a lot of talk now about what happens after this conflict comes to an end. Jordan News is reporting on recommendations of an international force managing Gaza after the war. Do you agree?
That is one option being talked about, but the way Israel and Netanyahu have become emboldened because of the presence of US ships and armada there, that his agenda is to stay put in power and evade the arrest and corruption charges and expand the war into Lebanon. So all this talk about international force is just in the air. Nothing concrete has emerged. In fact, Biden has asked Netanyahu not to prolong his stay in Gaza.
So then what do you think, Professor, is the ideal for a post-war Gaza? I mean, considering the current Israel-Hamas relationship, is there even room for Hamas in there?
You see, Hamas is an ideology, is an idea. It's a mindset of all those people who were displaced in 48. I think majority of the Palestinians who have now fled from north to south, and even in the south, largely have benefited from the Hamas activities and the way they have conducted themselves over the last 10 plus years. So no matter what the Israelis do to cripple the Hamas military infrastructure, but every Palestinian there aspires to do what Hamas has been doing for the last 10 to 12 years. So the ideology remains embedded in the Palestinians and youngsters who have seen carnage.
So that, Professor, let me just push you on this. What is your idea for post-war Gaza then? Who would lead it?
You see, ideally, the Palestinians should lead themselves, either Palestinian Authority or a reformed Palestinian leadership from within the Gaza people. That is the ideal, because any outside imposition would lead to much more difficulties for both Egypt, Israel, and the international community.
All right, Professor Aftab Kamal Pasha, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.